So that's the first step, is taking other agents' opinion with a grain of salt, and then doing your own market research.
Yep.
Once you've done your market research on comparables that have sold, then where do you go to from there?
That's when you start your negotiations.
Okay.
So you initially at this stage, you've before you do go and do all that research, you want to make sure the property's on market. So just FYI, sometimes they get sold really quickly, but the first thing, touch point is, hey, I'm interested. You're still available. Yes. You get some basic details. Then you go away, do your research, you come back. And then I like to just have that discussion where I generally say, like, you need to understand the three sides of the negotiation, and that is the seller, their objectives.
This is important, guys. Take notes.
The
three sides: seller, agent,
and yours.
So
in doing that, like, understand where the agent comes from, and basically the agent, they're working for the seller, so they want to get the best price for the seller. That is their one job. The seller might have inflated expectations of where that sits. So the agent is not only competing with buyers, but also with the seller's unrealistic expectations. They want to get a sale done. It's in their best interest. If you put everything else aside, yes, they're working with somebody else, but if they don't get this property sold, they do all this work for nothing. And that's many, many hours wasted. So understanding where they're coming from, but also understanding where the seller's coming from. So how do you do that? It's good to understand by asking probing questions into that situation, such as, why are they selling? What are the number of parties that are involved in the sale? Sometimes it might be, a deceased estate, which is also painful. So you've got lawyers involved, and you've got multiple kids that are looking at and their opinions too. So it can be difficult, but also understanding where that sits gives you a time frame where you might not have to rush with your deals. Some deals, it's all speed and that can get you through really quickly and get a really good price. But others, you just got to sit on your hands sometimes.
So one absolutely critical thing is understanding the intention of sale for the seller.
Correct.
Same with the business is, I typically tell my clients to ask the seller what's more important to them, like why are they selling. Typically it's the same old story. I'm sure it is in property. It's like, we just want to take money off the table, want to relocate, invest somewhere else, whatever it is, same old thing. So but if you just if you hold space and are open for the agent and really good at just building relationships, which is probably the most important thing in negotiations, I think, is holding space for the seller to open up to you, or the agent to open up to you and overshare. And I have a bit of a strategy on how to allow brokers and sellers to overshare when you're having a conversation.
Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, all right. So basically it's all relationships and psychology, and you have to do this. I'm going to pin this and frame this, and I want you guys to understand that this should be done in a totally moral and ethical way, not to try and game or manipulate somebody. It should be just a genuine thing. And if you actually care about humans, you can do this naturally, which is good. That's the only way that you should do this. But it's building a relationship with the person. The more they trust you, the more they're going to open up, right? Yeah. And how do you build trust? Typically it's time spent with somebody, but you can start to build trust in a shorter time frame by speaking to them about things that are related to their life and your life, and connect, right? Once you make that connection, and once you have one sticking point in common, then you work on that, and then you open up and just peel the layers back like an onion till you get to like a really strong connection. And you can do that with a broker, you can do that with a seller, and it's basically building a relationship and understanding that you care about them. You care about them, but you're also going to have good boundaries and be firm that you're going to pay what you feel the property is worth, and you're not going to dick them around in a sense that you're not going to be like, I'm going to lowball you, and then I want you to come back with another counter offer, and then we'll meet in the middle. Like what I typically tell people is like, I'm really good at this. I'm going to do my DD. and I'm going to make one offer. And if you think it's good, great. If you don't think it's good, then sell it to somebody else.
Cool. Yeah.
That's my opinion. And like that is because I can be unattached, right? A lot of people that are buying their first property are super nervous. They don't know what's going on. It's their first time. I.e., guys, reach out to us for help. We do coaching here. We hold your hand.
I got a question. How often do you get one and done?
What do you mean one and done?
One offer, deal done. Or do you have to go back and put a little bit more meat on the table for them? Or what's the sort of...
I would say about 70% of the time we get one and done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. It's decent. And then 30% you've got the seller that's just like, nah, I think. And it depends on the market as well. I have a reputation in my space. And if people are working with me, the brokers know that, like, all right,
he's educated.
This guy's got his eyeballs on the market everywhere. He knows what it's worth. It's going to sell for that price. So I have a bit of an upper advantage there. But so that's not going to be relevant for somebody that's brand new to the space, unless you know the market so well and you can present data and information like, all right, I don't understand why you would want to list it and try and get the price for it like this. Say it's a $500,000 asset worth, and they're listing it for $600, and you just see the comparables all around the 500 range to 510, 480, all that sort of stuff. If you went and presented data and be like, look, as a broker, you may be doing a bit of a disservice to your and it depends on how good your relationship is and wording you're going to use. But like if you are telling you're telling a seller that you can achieve 600, I feel like that's going to be a bit of a kick in the pants for them when the market, it's actually only going to sell at what the market is going to purchase it for. And the market, based on all of my data and these comparables, is saying that's worth 500. I think that's a good deal. I think it's a good price. It's what it's worth. I believe it's what other people would be willing to pay. I have finance approved. If you want to go down this route, let's do it. If not, then try and keep it on the market for another 3 months, 6 months, and then really tarnish your relationship with the seller, and then force the price down to even lower than 500, and maybe sell it for 470 because you've overcooked this.
Yeah, you've lost a good deal.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the biggest difference in buying businesses and buying property is that there's less competition in that front, because that's why we'll touch on that with the property side.
Yeah, that's true. So many people in property.
Well, you get to a point where you could have all the analysis in the world and it could point you to a $500,000 figure.
Yeah.
But if there's another person willing to pay $520, then if you want that property, you need to understand that. And that's sort of that skill set where agents train. And like, this is a big thing that I don't know many people understand